What's going on, y'all? Corey Tibbs here, head judge of the WBBF, that is the World Beachbody Federation. Welcome to Judges Corner. All right, so on this segment, I posed a question on our Instagram page and our Instagram community, and I asked people, do they want a breakdown of our classes, right? Because in the WBBF, we do have a number of different classes, but we named them differently, right? So I got some feedback from some people. They were a bit confused on, oh, what category do I belong in? Do I fit here? Do I fit there? So I just wanted to give you guys a breakdown of each class so that you know where you belong. And then you're going to find that they are the same as your standard bodybuilding classes. We just named them differently. Now I'm going to go over all these um, divisions and categories um, specifically for what they are and explain them. I am not going over the posing today. That would be for another video. So I'm just breaking down our categories, what they are, what are they compared to with or other organizations or industry wide. Okay. I know people are going to be like, well, what about the posing? That is another video that will be coming. So this is just a breakdown of what the categories are, but not the posing. That'll be a different video. Okay, so I'm going to break down these individual classes so you all have a clear understanding of what the divisions are and where your body may fit in. Okay, so I am going to start with our female divisions because we got quite a few of them. So I want to go through the female divisions first, um, or related divisions. We're going to start with our fit bikini category. Now, you'll find that our fit bikini category is just like any other standard bikini category on the bodybuilding circuit with different organizations. We just call our division fit bikini, right? Now, the criteria for this one, um, obviously, you're going to have your two-piece bikini. Um, it must have rhinestones. Again, I'm going to read here because we have it's a lot of information. Um, so, like I said, it's a two-piece bikini, rhinestones. V cut, pro cut allowed. Um, no string thongs. Must be general public accepted acceptable. Uh, your standard clear heels jewelry is acceptable but not required, right? So some leagues make you wear the accessories, you know, the your jewelry and things, but we don't require that. But it is allowed, um, and obviously no props. So this is our standard bikini. Now the judging criteria that was for your attire, but for the judging, this look is a very toned look, right? This is a standard bikini, right? You got to have the cap shoulders. You have to be conditioned. Um, you don't want to be overly muscular, right? But you do want to have some level of muscle in this fit bikini class. Again, I want to let you guys know, or let you all know, that this is your standard bikini, just like any other organization. We just call it fit. But I am going over the criteria. Um, Again, it's not a muscle division, so you don't want to be overly muscular. You definitely want to have some separation in the your glutes and hammies with your tie-ins, and you definitely have to be conditioned. You definitely have to have your symmetry, um, right? So this is, like I said, this is your standard bikini class. We just call it fit bikini. So I hope you guys get that. I hope that makes sense. So I'm gonna move on to our athletic bikini class, right? So we just had our fit bikini class, which is our standard bikini, right? So now we're moving on to the athletic bikini class. Now, this is comparable to a figure class that's in other organizations, right? Figure, but we call it athletic bikini, okay? So I want you guys to understand that The athletic bikini class is just a standard figure class. We just call it athletic bikini. I'm repeating myself because I want you guys to get a clear understanding of what that is. Now, to go over our athletic bikini criteria and judging and attire, I'm gonna go over it again. It's just like your standard figure classes. So obviously you have your two-piece bikini. Um, no rhinestones for our class though. That's the difference in our athletic bikini. Most figure classes you got to have rhinestones, right? Ours you don't. No rhinestones. Um, you can have a off the rack bikini. So just a two-piece bikini, right, with the V cut, um, but no rhinestones. Rhinestones is not accepted. No rhinestones, right? Off the rack bikini, two-piece. That is the difference in attire with our athletic bikini and a standard figure class. Okay, moving on to the judging criteria for this. Just like any other figure class, I hate using the word figure because we call it athletic bikini. We're trying to do something different, but I'm repeating myself again because I want to be clear. So, with the judging criteria, right? This is a step up from your bikini. You want to have muscle here in this class, right? You got to have the cap shoulders. You have to have the V taper, right, in the back, or you have prominent lats. Got to have that in this class. Um, your bottom half has to be well developed, right? You got to have nice quads, um, glutes, hamstrings. You have to be well developed all the way around, symmetrical. Got to have the symmetry, and you must be conditioned, right? Um, Now, with this class, I've seen in other divisions, but you know, this class usually is overly conditioned. You got to be conditioned, but you do not want to be overly conditioned, right? That's moving up into like the physique and all that, but you definitely want to have separation in your muscles, right? You want to see the rear delts. You want to see the rhomboids. You want to see the quad sweeps. You want to see the hamstring glute tie-ins. You want to see the cap shoulder. Everything has to be separated, right? You want to see the separation of muscles. Um, but you definitely want to be well developed, top to bottom. This is a standard figure class, but we call it athletic bikini. We're going to move on to our beach bikini category. Now, you may ask, well, what is beach bikini? So, if I had to compare something, I'm going to say it's comparable to the fit model category from MPC, right? It's a step down from our fit bikini, where this division is less muscular, right? You don't want to have total or complete separation in the muscles, right? It's more of a smoother look. So it's kind of a toned down um, bikini. So you don't want to have too much muscle here. Um, I'm gonna go over I'm gonna go over the attire. So this is a off the rack bikini again. So no rhinestones, not allowed. Off the rack two-piece bikini with the V cut, of course. Um, no thongs, and then your clear heels. Jewelry is acceptable but not required. So I'm gonna say it again. This is comparable to the NPC fit model category. So it's a step down from their standard bikini. You want to have less muscle here, not much separation. Um, don't want any striations, but you definitely want to be conditioned, right? So I'm gonna get into the criteria. I was talking about conditioning, right? You want to have a level of condition, but you don't want separation um, in your muscles, right? You may ask, well, how do you do that? You just got to come in fit, right? You don't want to have um, too much muscle, too much separation. Um, in this one, we don't require you to have cap shoulders. You don't want to be prominent um, with the bottom half, right, with your legs. But we definitely want just a hint of toneness, right? We definitely want you to look fit. So, you want to be symmetrical. You want um, your glutes nice and firm. Um, but this is a tone down from the fit bikini. You don't want to be overly muscular here. Um, but basically, just focus on um, a level of conditioning and have a more softer look, if that makes sense. So just a softer look, not overly muscular like the like not. I don't want to say overly muscular like fit bikini, but you definitely don't want too much muscle in this division. This is comparable to the NPC fit model. Again, I'm repeating myself here because I want to be clear of what the divisions are, and I'm comparing them so that you understand um, what these divisions are, but we just named them differently. Right, so I bet you've been wondering if we have a wellness division. um, well, we do. Again, we call it something different, right? So we call our wellness division the curvy fit beach body division. Okay? Curvy fit beach body division. It is a standard wellness division. All right? Again, I'm speaking this way, projecting this way because I want everyone to have a clear understanding. We just named it differently. So if you are looking to do wellness, you will be in our curvy fit beachbody division. Okay, so let me get into the attire and criteria. Right, so this one is a two-piece bikini, rhinestones. So you do have to have rhinestones in this division. Okay, two-piece bikini, rhinestones is a must in our curvy fit beachbody wellness. Okay, clear heels, standard. No thongs, V cut. Jewelry is acceptable, not required. Acceptable, not required. Okay. Now, just like your standard wellness, right? You gotta be more prominent in the lower half of your body. Well developed glutes, well developed quads, uh, deep cut with the hamstring glute tie-ins, right? Well, like I said, well developed glutes. Um, but you must be conditioned. Now, I'm going to say this as the head judge. I've seen a lot of competitors come in this division. I'm speaking about wellness, um, and they feel like they can sacrifice the conditioning so they can bring their bottom half in bigger glutes, bigger legs. Right? Conditioning is a must also in this division. You have to come in conditioned, even though we want the more dominant bottom half, right? We cannot sacrifice conditioning to bring in your bigger bottom half, okay? Um, and then the back, a lot of wellness divisions and organizations, they don't care about the back. We do, right? So you have to have a well developed back, shoulders, and obviously a good midsection. So we want a complete package in this division. It's not like we're not just looking at your glutes and quads and hamstrings. That's not the division. You have to be well balanced, symmetrical, um, have some muscle on you. However, your your bottom half should be dominant. And like I said, you do not sacrifice conditioning. All right. We are moving on. Like I said, we have quite a few lady divisions. We're moving on to our chic cocktail division, right? Chic cocktail. Now, this is a fun division. Ladies may come in and they may not want to wear um, two-piece bikinis and be totally exposed. And for that matter, you may want to wear a dress. It's a fun division. A lot of ladies, they like this division because they get to, sass it up, and bring out that what's the word I can use? It's sachet and all that, your divaness, and you know that's what this is about. Chic cocktail, right? It's in a dress, um, but it's not a lengthy dress to your heels. The dress should come to the knee, right? With a slit, okay. Um, Heels, it doesn't have to be the standard clear heels. It can be heels that match your dress, which we definitely prefer because we want you to coordinate your outfit. Um, no props. Jewelry is acceptable but not required. But again, you don't have to wear the clear heels. Your heels can match your dress. Um, Now, here's where it gets tricky, right? In this division, you may say, well, how are you going to judge our bodies if it's covered? Well, it's the overall appearance. How do you look in that dress, right? Can we see your shape? Can we see your figure in that dress, right? Um, we're going to lean more towards your presentation, right? How you present yourself while you're in this dress. Um, let's see here. So basically, that's your shape and your symmetry, right? Because we can't really tell, um, how much muscle you have underneath, how toned you are, unless you have a back out, right? So I always tell competitors, if you're gonna wear these dresses, it's highly, um, well, my opinion is to wear a dress with the back out. That way, when you turn to the back, we can actually see um, your level of conditioning, right? Because the back is exposed. But other than that, this is a overall appearance category, how you present yourself and how you look in that dress, your shape, your symmetry, um, and it's a fun one. Now we're moving on to our other category where you will wear a dress. It's called our elegance division. Right now, this is where the dress is top to bottom, so full length to the ankle, more of a flowy long dress. Now with this one, it's kind of the same judging with the chic cocktail, but it's a long formal wear, right? So um, again, jewelry is acceptable here, but not required. And again, your overall appearance in this, you can wear. It doesn't have to be the clear heels. You can wear heels to match, where you're coordinating, and this is your overall appearance and your shape, your symmetry, how you presenting it, how you look in that dress, and it's a presentation, right? So with the chic cocktail and the elegance, it's more of a presentation look. But how do you look in that dress, right? How are you presenting it? How's your shape? How's your symmetry? Again, if you have a dress that with a back out, you can actually show your conditioning, right? Because we can see the back. Okay, so these are two fun um, categories for ladies who don't want to wear bikinis or may want to compete, step on stage, but may not want to do such a bodybuilding category, right? All right, so we have two more divisions for the ladies. And these two are our newest categories for the 2026 um, year coming in. I'm going to start off with the figure one piece division, right? So this is a standard figure division, but you're wearing a one piece bikini, not a two piece. Um, and obviously, we're looking at everything the same as a regular, as a standard figure. We're looking at your definition. We're looking at how much muscle you have on you. You got to have some muscle for this division. And you got to be conditioned. Now, it's one piece, so your midsection is covered, right? However, looking at your whole body, you have to be conditioned, because you have to show some muscle separation. The cap, shoulders, your back has to be well developed, because in the one piece, your back will be out. Your glutes and hams and quads have to have separation, have to be developed. You gotta have a V taper, because we want the prominent lats. Okay, clear heels. Um, you know, you can have the standard clear. Oh, I said clear here. Sorry about that. uh, oh, your jewelry. Jewelry is acceptable but not required. Okay, so this is a standard figure division, but it just has a one-piece suit. We're gonna move on to our athletic fit division. This is a really fun division. I think this is a division that a lot of competitors are going to end up doing. So I think this class is going to be very popular. A lot of ladies are going to want to do this class. Um, it is a class for ladies who may not want to wear a standard two-piece bikini, and for a lady who may not like wearing heels, right? But also has a little bit more muscle on your frame than standard bikini, but not as much muscle as figure, right? Now, the the attire for this class is a sports bra, and we call them glute shorts, right? So they're shorts that they reveal in the back. They reveal about 95% of your glutes, right? Um, some people call them booty shorts or whatever the case, but I call them glute shorts. But not thong bottoms and not bikini bottoms. So they're glute shorts, right? And you wear gym shoes, right? So you know, sports bra, glute shorts, gym shoes, right? Now, what makes this division fun for the ladies is because, unlike the bikini class, this class you actually get to show off the muscle that you have. You get to flex a little bit. It's got some bicep flex. You got some lat spreads. You got some double bi, double back bis. I'm not gonna get into all the posing, but this class allows ladies to show off the muscle that they have with more flexing in the posing, right? Jewelry is acceptable, not required. Now, as far as the criteria, you gotta have some shape symmetry to you. You gotta be well balanced from top to bottom. This is not a upper body dominant. This is not a lower body dominant. This is a well balanced physique class. You gotta have uh, or you gotta be developed basically in all areas. This class will expose weaknesses. You gotta have the cap shoulders. You have to have lats. You have to be conditioned, right? You gotta have a good midsection, right? Abs gotta be in there. You gotta have very good quads, right? Like just like a bikini class, your quads. You don't want the quads overly developed, right? This class is accepted, right? You gotta have well-developed quads. You gotta have well-developed glutes, hammies. You gotta have a tie-in, right? This class uh, will expose weaknesses, right? In your bicep flex, you gotta see the bicep peaks, right? Lats, you gotta be able to have a V taper. You turn around, one of the poses is a lat spread. So if you don't have lats, that's gonna be a weakness for you. This is a fun class. It lets ladies, um, like I said, it lets ladies flex a little bit, show off what they have as far as muscle. But you got to be well balanced, right? That's the key to this class. It's a fun class though. All right, so we are going to move on to our male divisions, right? We have a couple here. I'm going to start off with our athletic physique division. Now, what is athletic physique? If we have to compare it to something, it is classic. It's a standard um, classic division. We call it athletic physique. Okay, now the attire is your standard classic trunks, your black trunks. Um, Now we're gonna go with the criteria. Now, again, in classic, you have to be well developed um, in muscle, right? This is a muscular division. You don't want to be overly muscular as a the standard bodybuilding divisions, but in classic, you have to be developed muscular top to bottom, all the way around, right? So we're gonna start, with the top. You gotta have well developed shoulders, cap shoulders, front to back, rear delts, anterior, um, medial, and that's front, side, and back. Now, biceps have to have great bicep peaks. I mean, there's so many muscles. I don't want to go through them all, but I just want to say in the athletic physique division, we're comparing it to a classic, different name, but you have to be well developed top to bottom. You know, glutes, hamstrings. You gotta have all that put together. You gotta have separation in every muscle. Details. That's the word I want to use. Gotta have details in this division, right? Um, very conditioned, right? You can't be lacking in that area either, right? Your conditioning has to show from front to back, right? You want to have details in your back, separation and everywhere. Um, so going back to your overall shape, you gotta in this class. See, in the classic, you want to have a small waist. You want to have a taper, right? You want to have a taper for this class. So if anybody is wondering, oh, do they belong in classic or athletic physique or men's physique or whatever the case may be, in this division, you definitely want to have V taper. So you want to have small waist, your shoulder to waist ratio, right? Um, Again, I'm repeating myself, but you want to have muscle separation, great conditioning, and you don't want to be lacking top to bottom. This is a well balanced class. It is standard classic. Moving on to our fit physique division. What is fit physique? We're just gonna say men's physique. uh, that is, the cross industry wide. Everyone knows what men's physique is. We have men's physique. We just call it fit physique. Same thing. All right. Everyone knows you wear board shorts, right? Um, I'll give you a gem here. The way things are moving now, you want to have your shorts at least 3 inches above the knee, um, because we want to see your quad sweep peaks, right? Quad sweep peaks. You don't want them so short where we're seeing an entire leg. Just 3 inches above the knee so we can see a peak of your quad sweep. Um, because we're judging that. We want to see if you have. We can't see the leg, but we want to know um, if the legs are semi-developed, right? Listen to the details in the words. Semi-developed. Now, if the shorts are 3 inches above the knee, we see a quad peak, sweep peak, then we know the legs are semi-developed, right? Um, and that's all we're able to see. So that's what we can judge. Um, Standard men's physique judging, you gotta have a V taper, right? Shoulder to waist ratio. gotta have the cap shoulders, you gotta have the details, well-developed chest, conditioning, great midsection, meaning you gotta have great abs, well-developed back, right? We want to see the separation and the details in the back. So your upper body has to have front to back details, right? Um, I'm not getting into posing for any of these classes right now. That'll be a different video. But for this fit physique category, it's your standard men's physique, right? I'll go over it one more time. Board shorts, 3 inches above the knee. Um, you gotta have symmetry, right? Gotta have symmetry. Gotta have conditioning. Um, and you definitely want to have muscle separation in the upper body from front to back. Okay, okay. Again, I'll say it again. Shoulder separation, details, uh, well-developed chest, great midsection, um, V taper. We want to see developed lats. We want to see the details in the back. Your round boy is prominent. Um, Standard men's physique. Okay. Like I said, I'll drop that gym. Don't come with those long shorts. Don't come with those shorts that's cover like down below the knee, 3 inches above the knee, so that we can see a peak of your quad sweep. Okay, there you have it. And last but not least, we are introducing a division called the Men's Sports Model Division. Okay, now you're like, okay, what is that one? Well, it's more of a fun class for the men, just like we have the fun classes for the ladies with the chic cocktail and the elegance. Men's sports model, it's where you wear a sport coat, but nothing underneath. So just sport coat up top. So chest is exposed, right? And jeans, but barefoot. So you can turn pro in this class as well. Um, this class it's an appearance class. It's a presentation class. Um, but also we're judging what we can see. Like I said, you have a sport coat on, but your front is exposed, right? So you gotta be conditioned, right? You gotta those abs gonna we're gonna see those abs, right? So you gotta be conditioned. Um, and this is more about your presentation. We want to see how you present yourself. Um, with this look, it's got to be clean. Um, More of a what we call it a marketable fitness look, right? Um, for athletic or lifestyle brand. So jeans, sport coat, but we're judging on how you're presenting yourselves in this category. It's a fun category. Like I said, it's a fun category, but you definitely want to be well balanced. You got to be toned, right? Obviously, if you're conditioned, great midsection, you're gonna show some chest off a little bit because you may want to take the sport coat off for a second, so your upper body's gonna be exposed. So you have to have some conditioning. Be toned, be balanced, have fun, um, be fit. Great stage presence and well polished. Right. This is a fun category. You can also turn pro in. All right, so that is the breakdown of all our divisions. I know that was a lot. We have a lot of fun divisions. Um, these divisions are we named them differently to spice it up, do something different within our organization. We like to have fun over here, um, and we like to have a variety of categories for you because we know that there's a lot of different body types out there. So we give you many options to where you may fit, within our categories, right? You got different options to pick. You could turn pro in all of them. Um, we got categories, for our standard categories, and we have our fun categories where you're dressing up a little bit. Um, but again, it's wherever you see your body fit. We have a category for you in the WBBF, the World Beachbody Federation. Again, I'm the head judge, Corey Tibbs. Um, Drop some comments in there. If you have some questions, I'll definitely answer them. Um, if not, see you next time.